Dan Bowler, and I've got the privilege to work with your fine young men these last 2 weeks, and it's been a lot of fun. I'd like to introduce Matt Blakely. He's been my assistant. And I also want to introduce some other special young men. These were men that just less than a year ago were in your son's position, and they become upperclassmen of the class of 21, and they volunteered their summer evenings and Sunday afternoon to work with your men. And that's one of the things we wanted to do, is build some camaraderie between the classes and to make sure this is more generated at the gentleman level. And I'd like to introduce, you guys come up forward. Put your hands behind your back, if you can recall that gentleman. All the way up. I want to see the chest out. So, I'll begin with John Robertson. Jack Murphy. Bridget Terra. Stuart McRae. And Spencer Sabates. Mark Twain once commented that he left home at age 19, and he came back 3 years later. When he left home, he thought his folks were ignorant. When he arrived back home, he was amazed at how much they learned in 3 short years. And I think it's a little bit that way with college. I will put your fears aside, and I can assure you the summer of '78, which was the year I came back after my first year at college, was about as disheveled at the bowling house as one can imagine. Having had the freedom of college and coming back and having my father explain I was going to live under his rules for the next 3 months, it was quite a time. So when you're going through this, but I think it also underscores that your boys have just gotten back from college and they volunteered to learn to be gentlemen of the jewel ball, and I think that's a tribute to each one. I'd like to begin with introductions, and we'll start with Mr. Henry.
Good afternoon. My name is Henry Blackfall. This is my mother, Mrs. Lorraine Leon. And this is my grandmother, Mrs. Charles Stephen Ryan.
Very good.
Good afternoon. My name is Mr. Luke Jason Berger. This is my mother, Kimberly Nicole Reed. And this is my grandmother, Mrs. Vicki Ann Reed.
Very good. Sam.
Good afternoon. My name is Mr. Samuel Clark Boers, and this is my mother, Miss Bradley Clark Boers.
Very good, Sam. Yes.
Good afternoon. My name is Mr. Gus Gerard Grandmeyer. This is my mother, Mrs. John Gerard Grandmeyer. And this is my grandmother, Mrs. Albert Joseph Grandmeyer.
Clay. Clay is one of the gentlemen that came in from out of town, and I've been amazed at how well both the young men of Kansas City welcome Clay and the way Clay's taken the young men of Kansas City.
Good afternoon. I'm Mr. Barkley Mullen Davis. This is my mother, Mrs. Porter Gamble Davis, and my grandmother,
Good afternoon. My name is Samuel Rich Fountain, and this is my mom, Mrs. Mark Ellis Fountain.
Edward.
Good afternoon. My name is Edward John Fromm, and this is my mother. This is William Martin Fromm. And my grandmother, this is Michael Ray Swenson.
Peter.
Good afternoon. My name is Mr. Nicholas Peter Goldsboro, and this is my mother, Mrs. Heath Blair Goldsboro.
Thomas.
Good afternoon. My name is Ryan Thomas Holmes, and this is my mother, Miss Ryan Thomas Holmes Sr. And this is my grandmother, Miss Ronald Lee Holmes.
Chaser.
Good afternoon. My name is Mr. Charles Brian Horner, and this is my mother, Mrs. Stephen Brian Horner. And my grandmother, Mrs. Ala Dean Dagestani. And my grandmother, Mrs. Charles Dallas.
Jackson.
Good afternoon. My name is Mr. Jackson Paul Mayer, and this is my mother, Mrs. Michael Timothy Mayer. And my grandmother, Mrs. Michael Francis Mayer.
Good afternoon. I'm Mr. Ennis Dowling McCarney. This is my mother, Mrs. Casey Patrick McCarney Sr. This is my grandmother, Mrs. Joseph Aloysius McCarney. And my grandmother, Mrs. Charles Albert Wooten Jr.
As you can tell, Murphy's giving it all for the group.
Good afternoon. My name is Mr. Thomas Edward Murphy IV, and this is my mother, Mrs. Garrison Pritchard.
Good afternoon. My name is Thomas Edgar O'Farrell, and this is my mother, Mrs. Patrick Dunn O'Farrell. And this is my grandmother, Mrs. Leonard Stephen.
Smile, baby.
Good afternoon. My name is Mr. Major Dr. Park. This is my mother, Mrs. Scott Martin Park. This is my grandmother, Mrs. Dennis Denning. This is my other grandma, Mrs. Grandma, Mrs. Scott, or Major Waldo Carter.
Good afternoon. My name is Spencer Redmond Perrin. This is my mother, Mrs. Reuben Lyman Perrin III. And this is my grandmother, Mrs. John Noble McConnell Jr.
Good afternoon. My name is Mr. James Edward Righteous, and this is my mother, Dr. Jennifer Healy Righteous, and my grandmother, Mrs. Robert James Righteous, Sr.
Good afternoon. My name is Mr. William Driscoll St. Peter, and this is my mother, Mrs. Robert Francis St. Peter.
Good afternoon. This is my mother, Mrs. Patricia Odell. And this is my stepmother, Dr. Stephanie Michelle Warden. And this is my grandmother, Mrs. William Harrison Shackelford III.
Good afternoon. My name is Mr. Robert Chamlin Sprague Jr. This is my mother, Mrs. Robert Chamlin Sprague, and my grandmother, Mrs. Ernest Joseph Taminia.
Good afternoon. My name is Ethan Thomas Wolf. This is my mother, Mrs. Gregory Thomas Wolf. This is my grandmother, Miss John Patrick Duffy. And this is my grandmother, Miss Jerome Thomas Wolf.
I will take just a moment. I'd like to introduce one of the past ball chairmen, Mrs. Barnes. Mrs. Brian Barnes, as you can follow my voice about it. Now, gentlemen, are you ready to sing for your lunch? Come on out.
Kennedy wanted me to get videos. Today they're Slack. No, Thursday. Yeah, they would teach right after. Oh, you do? Yes, we have double team. Yes. Oh, wow.
Oh, I'm gonna do the whole stage, I think. Here, just.
I don't want to get in your lens. Okay. Alright, cool. Are you gonna panning or are you gonna
No,
pan?
I won't. Feel free to use all that.
It may not seem like it, but going on the stage, your hands behind your back, a little stressful. Nobody can hold that, gentlemen. Let's do it on the way out.
Good afternoon. We are the Jewel Hall Gentlemen Class of 22. I took my girl out walking late one Saturday night. I took my girl out walking, the moon was shining bright. I asked my girl to marry me, and what do you think she said? She said she would not marry me if the whole wide world were dead. That's why I do like I do, like I do. That's why I do like I do, like I do. That's why I do like I do, like I do. That's why I do like I do, like I do. Oh, you must be a jewel ball man, jewel ball through and through. And if you are a jewel ball man, you always have a plan. So here's to the glass of champagne, sparkling and so clear. Not as sweet as a young girl's kiss, but damn sight more sincere. That's why I do like I do, like I do. That's why I do like I do, like I do. That's why I do like I do, like I do. That's why I do like I do, like I do. Jewel Ball Gents. Brass earring, dance with three little maid, and every night in the pale moonlight across the Milky Way, he'd hug and kiss his pretty little miss in the shade of a castle tree. And every night in the pale moonlight it sounded like this to me: ta-room, ta-room, ta-room to the yum to the yay, ta-room, ta-room, ta-room to the yum to the yay. Down in the old cherry orchard, under the old cherry tree, every night in the pale moonlight, she sang sweet songs to me. That's where I first met and kissed her. That's where she promised to be. Down in the old cherry orchard, under the old cherry tree. Sweethearts of mine have been sweethearts of mine, but there's only one girl in my dreams. Oh, what a girl! She has my brain in a whirl, and there's none can compare, so it seems. I ask you, how would you like to be my jewel sweetheart? How would you like to wear my jewel ball pin? How would you like to gaze upon the diamond gem of gem and ne'er goes dim? How would you like to share a jewel friendship? Friendship that will last for life. How would you like to love your skirt always? How would you like to waltz all night? Her eyes are blue as the Kansas sky. Her lips are like the rose. She's different from all other girls. How I love her, no one knows. No one knows. And in my fondest memories, never shall we part. For she is my dear